I hope everyone can hear me now. Hi, everyone. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Daisy here, aka Professional High Priestess. Okay, and I'm here to do a channeling tonight regarding racism and spirituality. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it worked. I know there's probably not too many people online, but some people they'll be able to watch this tomorrow. So first, I wanted to do this topic because I feel like there's a lot of confusion. And this is going to be a really good learning lesson for everyone here in this room. This, I know, is a triggering topic, but out of the major ills in this matrix, out of all the different societal factors that we're currently dealing with, from the economic issues to the interpersonal issues, racism, classism, and I believe religious domination are the biggest issues in our society. All right. So first, when we're talking about racism, because racism and spirituality, they go hand in hand, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Racism is a system of power wherein one group has it set up so that they are able to control lifelong and generational outcomes for certain groups of people based on incomplete theories, notions, etc., of those groups being lesser than. That's racism. Racism, aka white supremacy, aka anti-blackness. Racism is a system of power. It is not just about, oh, I don't like you because of your skin color. No, it goes beyond that, right? So in that system of power, with racism, there are individuals who have power and there's individuals who don't have power. Can people of color who've been impacted by systemic racism be racist? No, because it's a system of power. Can they be prejudiced? Absolutely. Yes. People of color can be prejudiced towards each other and towards, can they be prejudiced towards white folks? Yes. But a lot of times it's because of the trauma that has occurred, you see? And sometimes it's not even prejudice, it's healthy mistrust. Joy DeGruy calls it a healthy distrust in whiteness. Because sometimes some folks of color, they're too trusting and they get themselves into some really crazy situations because they forget that racism and white supremacy exists. Serious topic tonight. Because there's a lot of confusion going around, and this is going to be very educational for all parties listening, okay? Wherever side you stay on. Now, I want to talk about something called cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is when you are introduced to information that is different from your worldview or what you've been taught. So it creates a chasm in your psyche that induces agitation, irritation, and anger, okay? Sometimes when we hear information that contradicts what we think that we already know, what we've been bred in, what we've been taught, it triggers that cognitive dissonance. That's that feeling you get like, no, it can't be true. And then you start getting mad at the messenger instead of actually analyzing and critiquing what is being said to you. All right? So just watch that as it comes up, because you have to understand it's just like spells. Y'all know when you're trying to clear spells and you start to know that the spell or the entity is clearing because it gets more agitated, more powerful. Because remember, racism, white supremacy, anti-blackness is an entity. It's a thought pattern that's been embedded into the psyche and then the DNA of society. From those who enact it, those who are impacted by it. So, first, when we're talking about racism and white supremacy, let's take it way, way, way back, okay? Black people, indigenous people, European folks, because even when we're talking about what is European, some of the bloodlines are only 6,000 years old on planet Earth, okay? So there's that. I'm just going to say that. Now, where did I learn that? I'm going to find the video and I'll put it in the comments and pin it, because it was actually, I saw a TED talk by a white genealogist and he was doing that. So there's that before you start saying that it's, oh, a Hotep and it's Afrocentric teachers. So what happened was, yes, Black people were, of course, enslaving each other. The reason why slavery even started was because we were being way too open to people who didn't look like us. That's how Egypt fell, etc. Because we let all different types of people in, but our people worked with those people to take down our other folks. You see, it was always infighting with black folk too. But it's like, I'm going to hold us accountable too. We're going to have our own healing session. Trust me. We're going to have our own healing session, right? So what ended up happening was the Moors of Spain. Remember, we also had the Sibyls in Europe too, right? They kind of evolved from what we call the kind of Hebrew cultures, because you have to understand that when those Abrahamic religions like arrived, they were all kind of like in a melting pot, and then they differentiated, but they all come from one source, which is the Kemetic system. So the Moors differentiated into Islam. Then they were fighting over, is it going to be Shiite or Sunni? Okay. Then black folks differentiated into different type of the Coptic Church and Christianity and things like that. All right. Some stayed with the indigenous practice. Other parts of the world, as we continue to move up more towards North America, et cetera, we lost our pigmentation, et cetera. That's the story. Some of us were in the Caucasus Mountains. There's that story too. There's a lot of different type of creation stories, but I'm not going to talk too much about those, because then we still got the story of Yaqub. Okay, so there's that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, when we're talking about racism and white supremacy, the Moors of Spain, they were infighting with each other over is it going to be Shia or is it going to be Sunni? Basically, is the lineage of power who's going to be the imam, basically the priestess. Is it going to be through blood, or is it going to be by election? That's the whole fight that they're in, Shiite versus Sunni. So while they were busy fighting each other, the Europeans in Spain that were kind of still there, because remember, the Moors ruled everything. These were black people that ruled everything, right? The Spaniards and then the Portuguese, they teamed up. Queen Isabel and King Ferdinand, who gave Christopher Columbus the money to do what he was doing. They teamed up. Then they were able to get rid of the Moors, because the Moors were too busy fighting over who's going to rule in a slave religion anyways. You see where our downfall came as black people? Okay. So while they were doing that, they were giving the ancient maps. They were telling them where the gold was. Christopher Columbus, he didn't get lost. That motherfucker knew exactly where he was going. He knew exactly what he was doing, right? Because he had sailed the Gold Coast. He wrote it in his son and him wrote it in their diary. They had sailed the Gold Coast years before they had petitioned Queen Isabel and King Ferdinand for that money, aka the loan, right? To go ahead and to go to Hispaniola, which is what we call the Caribbean now, to go explore. Okay. But mind you, the Moors had already been there. They've been to Mexico too. They were already in the Americas, hence the Olmec heads. All right. So what ended up happening was they went there, but I want to also add that this is now, on top of that happening, this is also the rise of patriarchal Christianity and Catholicism with popes coming up, because by the time Christopher Columbus was around, it was like the third or fourth pope that they were on. So the papacy was new. All right. Okay. So hold that in your mind, because I'm going to come back to that regarding the spirituality. Christopher Columbus, he went down to Hispaniola, aka the Caribbean, saw all the women there. We wasn't wearing no clothes. We were thick. We had nice boobies. We had gold. We had all these different things. Then the chaos started. The slaughter started. Then what ended up happening was they started bringing them back to Spain to Catholicize them, aka colonize them, which was basically to break their indigenous thinking and their language and their way of life and living. And a lot of their stories where they would write about that time period, and they said that they would know that they were getting close to Hispaniola because they will see a line of Indian bodies trailing from Hispaniola, the Caribbean, to Spain, to the port of Spain. Yes, there will be lines of bodies because they would die from the diseases that the Europeans were bringing, right? So what ended up happening was they decimated all the Indians. Then they're like, fuck, we're starting all these trades. We got all these different farms. Things are going good. We're going to the New World. We're investigating, because they were going to Brazil, Colombia, all these places where there's indigenous Indian people and black people too, right? So they needed more people to like tend the land and do all these things. That's how slavery started. Then what ended up happening was they're like, oh, okay, well, you know what? The transatlantic slave trade, though, transatlantic, they were like, okay, you know what? We need people to work. So we're going to need some Africans. Okay, let's bring them, because they're area. It's going to turn into chattel slavery. No. they had, remember, they actually can withstand more beatings. They can withstand illness. They can withstand more heat. Oh, sorry, I know I cut off. Oh, they can withstand illness. They can withstand heat. Fighting for Muhammad and his family. But the real thing is, are they fighting over the bloodline of Muhammad, or they're fighting over who, if it's the Imam is elected? Yeah. So they saw that how we didn't burn in the sun. Exactly. They saw how strong we were and that we could withstand more, right? And it's just because we had different type of immune systems than the people who were living in Hispaniola at that time. So then they're like, okay, shoot, we're gonna get a whole bunch of Africans. Let's go. It became a problem because they didn't want to pay for this. Because first they were taking Africans that had been enslaved in war. But even the times when Africans were enslaving each other, there was ways to actually get out of that indentured servitude. There were things that you would do. They would even, if you read this book called Things Fall Apart, it's by a Igbo writer. And this is like the 1930s and 40s. When they conquer other villages, they will take like the boys, stuff like that. Because that's how you disenfranchise. You take the men, mass incarceration. Okay. Then they would live with them in the house. Yeah, they would live in the house, treat them like their own son, etc., etc. Yeah. So read stuff like that so you can understand the dynamics, the differences. So what ended up happening, Christopher Columbus and all of them, they were doing what they were doing. They were pillaging, they were raping, they were stealing, all these different things. They were expanding colonization. The Africans were very ferocious. They didn't want to be trapped up in all of that, right? They fought. They were. The Indians did too. Hispaniola. So let's just be, they were both doing it. But one of the problems was the Africans had magic as well. Not to say that the Hispaniola folks did not, but the Africans were very guerrilla with the magic. That's why they had to bring the church to beat it out of them. They had to beat religion into us. You guys have to understand that. It's like when you go and you see these circus animals and all these whales and how they do tricks and stuff like that. It's a very tumultuous and traumatizing process to break a person into going into something that's against their original nature. So they're like, oh shit, by making them religious, we can kind of, subdue them and, make sure that they are not giving us trouble and stuff like that. Because they were giving them hell and hot water. That's why they had to be vicious towards us. So that starts going on. Remember, there's already Black people in the Americas, things like that, right? Like in the Americas, like the Seminole Indians and different type of tribes, it's literally Black people, dark skin, with just with fine hair, a different hair texture, just like the Dravidians in India, right? Because they're like 67% Black through their DNA haplogroups. So then what ends up happening, now we have the whole slave trade, all right? And the whole world is all up in Africa's pockets, taking millions of people out, millions of people dying in that sea, curses being thrown at people as the trauma is happening, religion being used to subdue and remove us from our divination practices because we were giving these slave masters hell. We were putting roots in their food, right? We were speaking incantations over them. We were giving them hell. So they're like, all right, we have to ante with this. Now, we're on plantations, we're working. We are going into different type of groups in the middle of the night to meet with each other, to chant, to bring down ancient ancestors. We're teaching each other. We're preserving the ancient codes, right? We're preserving our diets and all those different type of things. No, you can't practice any of that. Think about the Salem witch trials. Tituba, she was the first one to go. Tituba, it was a Black woman. They're like, oh no, she taught all of them spell work. Okay, no, you got to go. That's how that started. So slavery is continuing to go on, transatlantic slave trade, colonization in those countries. We're being forced to speak the slave master's language. We're being forced to worship their religion. Any worshiping of any religion other than Caesar Borgia is considered against the power structure, which was white supremacy, which was white men at that time, because they were the ones who had the power, right? So if you're worshiping anybody that looks like you, speaking any tongue that looks like you, giving your power to anything that's going to continue power amongst your group, it's a problem. You have to understand that we are the power. We are the master. Remember? Because you think that Africans are just like, okay, well, that's my master now. Hell nah. It's a systemic process of creating a slave. Go read Willie Lynch. So that was continuing over for hundreds and hundreds of years. Understand this. But remember, this type of pattern, this type of thinking is it's demonic. You have to understand that. The way that these individuals think, you have to understand that they're possessed by a hyperdimensional entity that takes over groups at a time, not just one by one, groups at a time, right? Kind of like coronavirus. Dun dun dun. Are you understanding now? White supremacy is a psychological virus. So they had that mindset. Then they infected it into other people. They passed it out onto their children to keep the power structure going. Because don't you know, when I die, my son has to do the same thing. So this is how you do the rope, son. Pass them the baton. This is how they've been doing this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. In the process of that, Africans who had the life beat out of them, their language beat out of them, terrorized, traumatized, succumb to the white supremacy. This is where we get the whole concept of Uncle Tom, La Malinche, that whole thing. Because trust me, in the Spanish, Latin people, they have their own type as well. It's La Malinche. It was a Latina woman who basically, like, she sold out the soldiers to the conquistadors and told them where they all were, right? So anyhow, mind you, then we had conquistadors in the United States. As they're colonizing and destroying Black people with slavery, they're colonizing and destroying the Indians. So it's like we couldn't get a break in terms of preserving our indigenous and knowledge and spirituality and practices. Everyone at the same time, a virus, mass across the land. How many years? How many centuries has this virus been playing itself out? Literally changing the DNA of individuals and human beings, yes. Because when they pulled us across that water, we had to eat a whole new diet. We're in a whole different atmosphere that has a whole different type of DNA, right? The temperature is different. I do not believe Black people need to be living in the snow. That's why we act like that. Shout out to Chicago, right? So our DNA has changed as well. That means our behavior has changed as well. Our ability to connect to the Most High has changed as well. So now, remember, there's some of us who we could not withstand that trauma of seeing people be beat and things like that. Do you know in Brazil, the life expectancy for slaves for many years was up to 25 years old? Yeah, because that's how much they traumatized us. Yes. Most of the folks that were able to really survive were the children of the Portuguese slave owners and the Black women, because they weren't bringing most of the people who colonized Brazil. It was just like prisoners, ex-prisoners. So imagine them dealing with our people, and they're taking wives and stuff like that. At least in America, it's a little bit different. Those pilgrims, they came with their wives and their families, the whole thing. Not to say that they weren't evil and wicked, right? But that's going to be a little bit different from a whole gang of prisoners that just got on a boat. Now, let's keep going. The religion has been beat out of us. We've been told our spirituality is bad. Those who got caught playing with our spirituality or our practices were lynched. They had their feet cut off. Read Roots, Kunta Kinte, right? All types of mutilation and bondage and harm and things like that. Our teeth pulled out of our mouth and used to make dentures for masters, all kinds of things. Women hung by their hands and their children whipped out of them. Yes. This is the type of stuff that we're talking about when we're talking about spirituality and slavery and racism, because it's in our DNA, and that has to be brought out and healed. That's why a lot of us cannot ascend. It's a virus that's been eating our spirits for many years. So imagine seeing all of that, and then you have it beat into your DNA, into your psyche that, okay, you know what? Let me just align. This is the safest way for me to go. Let me just be up under massa. Let me just not look anyway, because if so, then they're going to beat me and it's going to be bad for me. Read Willie Lynch, How to Make a Slave. Then in order for the master just to continue that the loyalty was there and that they were going to continue the white supremacy and the domination, right? Because all their friends were doing it too. So they're like, shit, it's just going to go like this forever. They had to create allies, comrades, insurgents. This is where we get the term sellout, assimilated, colorist, peoples of color, Indians, right? Even in the Philippines, they had their own colonization too, and slavery. Hawaii and the Fiji Islands, India, they dealt with the, remember, it's a virus that started all at once. Boom, infiltrate. Know how it hit Africa, hit Hispaniola, hit Brazil, Central America, the Americas, Asia, New Zealand, Australia. Notice how it hit all at the same time. You see, it's a virus, right? So this is going on for many, many years. Now we get all of our people. They don't want to be hurt. They pass down the genetic memory of trauma and knowing how to conform and be in alignment, right? And be subjugated to the master. They're replicating the same exact behavior because it's survival now. You show them otherwise, you try to tell them different, right? Harriet Tubman trying to free slaves. They don't even know. They don't know any different because it's been beaten into their blood. So now they don't even know, right? And this is a reoccurring thing throughout all culture, all Black, indigenous, people of color cultures, right? That's why white supremacy is global. That's why when you go into any of those cultures, light skin is social mobility. It's the most powerful form of currency. Look in the Philippines. All the movie stars, you don't see them looking like the real indigenous Filipinos who are dark, like me. They look Spanish. In Vietnam, they were also colonized by the French. Same thing. India, same thing. There's actually a woman who created an AI tech company that analyzed and scanned all the skin tones of all Indian actors for like 4 to 5 years. And if you see just a number of like darker skin tones, it was like 3 to 4. I'm gonna post that link so you can see what I'm talking about. They beat it into us on a global scale. Everyone got it. You see? Because light skin equals Jesus, right? Or the image of divinity, and Jesus equals purity. Yeah. That's why they had to take away our religions and replace it with them's. Yours is bad, ours is good. Worship this image that looks like me, even though I'm beating your ass, giving you hell, destroying your children, destroying your livelihood, destroying your crops, your generational economic wealth. The image of your God looks like me. So in your mind is fucked up. You're schizophrenic. They've split you into pieces. You're fragmented. Because the image of your divinity and God is also the image of the groups of people who are giving you hell. You see? Our minds have been warped on a large scale. Our ancestors cry when you engage in those systems and you forsake yourself and you don't know who you are or what you're talking about. Now, because that's another way you disrespect your ancestors, by not honoring your lineage and the knowledge and information, because that's how you break the codes and chains of slavery. That's why they hid all of our knowledge. That's why they repaint the pyramids. That's why they broke the nose of the Sphinx, which was Napoleon Bonaparte from France. Because of the features, it would cause too much of a problem. Hey, we got this whole group of people that we got to keep making them believe that they're slaves and then they're not about shit and they don't come from nothing. Meanwhile, we're going back to their country too to take all the minerals and stuff like that and destroy their religions. No, we can't. No, it can't happen like this. Take all their artifacts, round them up, lock them away in the Vatican, lock them away in these fancy museums. They can't touch anything. No, change all the books in the school. Shit, don't even let them into the school. Jim Crow, slavery. You can't read. No, because then it's going to be a problem. Do you see? There was laws against slaves being able to read. That's why. Why would you place a law against a man getting to know himself unless you had an ulterior motive? Think about how they think, because it's only just transformed into something else completely. Yes, white supremacy is coming from a parasitic entity that's coming from a different star system. It's just another war of dark versus light. But in other dimensions, it's literally, the skin can even be shift. White versus dark, right? So just think of it in that way. It's just all light versus dark, male versus female, work itself out, polarities. But too much darkness is now being served with this system. So, education system. No, we can't teach you about yourself. No. Because education is a good way for mobility and having long-term stability. Pause. You have to take IQ tests. You have to jump through hoops. If we think that you're not smart enough, we're going to sterilize you. Watch this documentary called Ma'afa 21. They would go and put birth control in our water supplies to stop us from reproducing. Oh, yeah. You fail that IQ test. You fail that SAT test. You fail that STAR test, which came from the Eugenics Society. You will be sterilized. That's what they were doing. Those STAR tests that they used to give us in elementary school and stuff like that, that was created from the Eugenics Society. The Eugenics Society, their whole theory was that white folks were genetically superior to all races based on our skull shapes. We all had the same shaped skull. So that means Black people and brown people need to be sterilized. They need to be euthanized. They need to be removed. They need to be cornered off. Do you understand what is going on now? The sickness? Then at the same time, in these other countries, you got our own people who have been bred by poverty, war, and scarcity mentality, dictators that they've installed, School of the Americas, back in our home countries too, terrorizing us even after the oppressor has left back to Europe. Okay, you understand? It's a sickness. It's a global sickness. So eugenics. The Eugenics Society was started by Sigmund Freud, who's supposedly the father of psychology. It started by one of his cousins, and Charles Darwin too. Eugenics Society. Medicine grants. Yeah, he was cousins with what's that dude's name? Charles Darwin. And Sigmund Freud's nephew started the theory of propaganda. You see how they all run in circles and they all play these theorists? That's why you gotta, what was really happening in the background at those times? Because they were all on drugs and shit like that, like ketamine and doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So anyway, what was happening now is, okay, then they ended slavery, supposedly. Okay, they want education, they want to be equal, they want to not be enslaved, and all these different things all over the planet, though, at the same time. Because remember, these wars were going on. Haiti, Jamaica, right? All these different things were happening to get the colonization out. So then they left and they came back. Oh, we're going to start businesses. Hawaii and the Dole companies, right? We're moving forward. The education system, they're sterilizing people, da-da-da-da-da. Fuck, we got to let them in. Ruby Bridges, right? We have to actually let them like come to school and stuff like that. They pass all these different laws. We march, da-da-da-da-da. Martin Luther King, I failed to have integrated my people into a burning building because we didn't need what they had. We just needed our own to bring back what we lost. Sankofa. Because all these different systems, there's nothing new under the sun. Our ancestors created that. But it's missing the element of spirituality. That's why these scientists play God, right? And create all these disastrous materials. You think that we didn't have in vitro fertilization? What do you think ISIS was doing? what do you think ISIS was doing with that immaculate conception? Okay, so there we go. Now, let's keep going. Our ancestors had all these technologies. There's a documentary called Temple of Man, and you see a man with the phallus, his phallus standing there with his penis out, and what's coming out is the literal exact shape of a sperm cell. So the ancestors already knew on a microscopic level what was happening. Then they had actually carved into the wall the process of mitosis, where a sperm meets an egg, then the egg turns into a blastoid and starts to differentiate out into the flower of life pattern, and then turns into a fetus. They already drew that all on the wall. So our ancestors already knew. We had light bulbs. We have all these things, right? So we want to learn, we want to go to school, we want to be educated, da-da-da-da. Okay, fuck, we're going to fuck over the whole school system, and we're going to teach them trash, that they were only slaves, and da-da-da-da-da. And if they try to go for ethnic studies, we're not going to have that. Arizona had to go to federal court to get ethnic studies in the school, the state of Arizona. You guys need to watch that documentary. The state of California barely just instituted ethnic studies. They had to do all these type of research studies and stuff like that, because I used to be an ethnic studies teacher, before they would allow that to happen. So now they got the whole education system. We're going to school. But well, then boom, we're gonna have to throw crack cocaine globally, drugs, more poverty into all these areas. Let's go. Wars. We have to have it. You guys can't have jobs either. Okay, so here we go. We got to keep on this system going. Okay, we have to go to other countries now, and because we have to keep this game up where we're making money. So while we're terrorizing other countries, we're going to terrorize you. Let's install patriotism, make you think that you're actually worth this. You can fight in our wars. That whole story. Let's keep going, right? People of color still not hip to the game of what's been going on, that they've really been hijacking our spiritual knowledge and wisdom and then giving us their watered down patriarchal witchcraft, right? And that's what we can't manifest. So the thing here too is, while this is all going on, they're using our ancient knowledge in these different secret societies and churches and whatever that they're doing in the background. George Jefferson, all of them playing with that knowledge, spell work, our ancestral information and wisdom, pyramids, all these different things, right? Meanwhile, they got us fighting over crumbs in the projects and in the slave quarters and shit like that, okay? Those of us who are trying to bring something better, information and knowledge, we're getting lynched, chased, hurt, collision, because they're colonized. Happening by the same entity and force, some more than others. All right. Because I'm really sweating right now. But anyway, of years, them trying to bring this information and knowledge up. Now it's hitting critical mass. More people are knowing about it. Less people want to have wars. They don't want to eat meat no more. They don't want to be a part of the matrix. They're finding out about the matrix beyond a pale white horse. They're finding out about all the different types of spell work and magic and Melchizedek games that they've been playing with us, cubed thoughts and thinking patterns and government experiments and shit like that. Theosophical society, right? Then we get Hollywood, distractions here and there, tech companies, distractions here and there, religion, distraction, whatever. People are starting to realize all the distractions. Now we have individuals that want to be, I want to be of light. I want to do this. Now we're trying to get to the same page. Okay, cool. You spiritual, I'm spiritual. We understand what's going on. Okay, cool. But we still can't get on the same page because some folks don't understand how racism is still playing a factor, right, into this whole thing at the same time, because it's literally the subjugation of that indigenous spiritual practice is why we're here in the first place. Because in that we're destroying the earth, but isn't it that not the indigenous peoples who had the framework for keeping the earth steward and balanced and in harmony with human beings, right? So now if you say that we want to go towards universal consciousness, cosmic consciousness, you have to respect the stewards of the earth, right? Because the stewards of the earth is the way that we're even able to have an anchor to get into that cosmic consciousness, right? Because as you have an earth suit, you are also bound to the earth, because one day we have to die up, whether that be from fire, turn into ash, or literally go into earth and rot with the earth. So we're trying to move towards this universal. Ooh, they want to play. Okay. All right, can y'all hear me? Okay. So usually when it, like, I see it start lagging, I stop talking so that the stream doesn't get fucked up, because I hate when it's like, okay. So now you guys have to remember too, okay, people are learning about this matrix, universal consciousness. I don't want to be a racist. No, I don't want to fight. Da, 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 da. That's my brother. That's my sister. Okay, we're trying to move towards that, but then a lot of us still have not done the inner work of understanding how we were bred by the system to keep it going throughout hundreds and hundreds of years, how deep it really is, and that it's really like an entity. So we need higher level spiritual tools. Then we get folks who, because remember, it's that cognitive dissonance, they were also bred to act out that racism, right? And like white folks, they were bred to, continue to act that out. That's why they don't win either with racism. Both sides lose. No one wins with this shit. Because in order for you to enact out that energy, you have to dehumanize yourself. In order for you to do that to me, I become dehumanized. It's like no one's going to win in the situation. So why don't we just all stop? So with that, now the tables turn. It turns into a different type of conversation. All right. Your ancestors benefited off us being in a situation. You've kind of benefited as well. So there are certain steps that you have to take before you come into this universal consciousness in order to make things right again. At that same time, we're having that conversation. We're trying to talk to our folks who we want to liberate, but they're still being slaves. So, the last 2,000 years, yes, because it started in ancient Egypt with Cleopatra and all them, right? Then it devolved into this, and I try to give the timeline, specifically for like slavery, da 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 da. But now now the conversation is, yeah, we have to move into new earth. We have to move into this universal consciousness. We need to heal. And yes, there's reptilians, they're higher dimensional soul systems. And okay, what are you going to do to clear that entity from your consciousness? Because you have to acknowledge that we've been impacted and infected. Because if I know I have, by being on the receiving end of the trauma, you have to have been being a part of on the other end of the trauma where in which you actually benefited from the subjugation, Yes, we have Irish folks who were indentured slaves and servants and things like that, who also had their own type of oppression with the Catholic and Catholicism and Christianity in Ireland. There was a lot of battles about that. A lot of battles. Like if you were considered, I believe it was Christian, it was like the non-dominant religion, that you were like a pauper and stuff like that. Like because the class was connected to the religion too, right? That's why like a lot of religion promotes the classism and racism still. And that needs to be talked about, but they don't want to talk about that though. So we come to this place where, okay, we know what needs to happen, da 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 da. Okay, clear the virus, clear the entity. That's what it is. And by clearing the virus, clearing the entity, because it's like a spell, you have to understand how it works, right? Isn't that the whole thing when we're trying to do our spirit baths and stuff like that? We have to understand what they're sending to us so that we can break it down properly. Okay, they're sending back. This is the tool that I need to, sending a text. I need to do a bath, or I need to do this type of practice, or that type of practice, or this type of practice. Okay, how is the spell working? Okay, I see it's impacting this part of my life, this part of my body. Then I create the different type of mechanisms around that to stop that from happening any further. Yeah, they do. Of course, they perpetuate white supremacy. But I'm also acknowledging too that there was that different type of supremacy that was happening towards them, you know. So, but now that's why they have to also remember that too. Like, okay, you were also impacted by the Matrix in some way, and then you become a perpetuator of it. Like, no, that shit got to stop. Come back to baseline. So now the question here is like reintroducing like the indigenous type of practices and systems and codes and languages that were away. Everyone wants to go to the next dimension. Let's go to the next galaxy, but they haven't even got planet Earth like settled yet. You see what I'm saying? Then they become super like disillusioned, right? When they meet like spiritualists that talk about this stuff and its connection to the 5D, because they never heard it in that way. They're just like, okay, well, I'm not a racist because I look at that person and I don't feel any hatred, and I'm not saying that they're bad, but may still perpetuate different type of factors of colorism and not know it. Sexual racism and not know it. So that's kind of like where we need to go at the next stage. It's like, how are you perpetuating these different factors? Because there's so many different books and whatnot about that. That's the whole point. That's how you get rid of the virus, the spell. Okay. So that's really what it is when we're talking about racism and spirituality. That's where the level that it is. Then on top of that, you know, there's still the karma for your ancestors and what they did and how they benefited, how you are even benefiting today off of the blood, sweat, and tears and stolen land of people and stolen legacy of people and stolen ancestral practice that has been bastardized and turned inside out for harm, right? All of that needs to be talked about. Okay, well, you live in America too. You benefit as well. Of course, I'm going to benefit from what my ancestors built. And at the same time, too, I'm still being persecuted and punished. And I'm still doing my own inner work, right? And inner healing. And recognizing how I contribute to the matrix, too. Yeah, the rest are hooked up to the matrix. Yeah, because the trauma, right? And then you have to talk about, too, the trauma. Like, because a lot of folks, remember, were brought here. Their land was taken. They were colonized. All that type of stuff, too. So you have to also understand that, yes, we were all colonized, but some of us are actually benefiting. You have to understand that. Some of us are benefiting from that entity and what it does. So don't be a part of that ritual. And if you are benefiting, how can you offset that karma so that other folks who are not benefiting can benefit too? That's what we talk when people are talking about, oh, let's be an ally or whatnot. I need a comrade. So if you know where to get the coin so that we can build shit for the community or change the way stuff is going, bring me in or bring it back to the community so that we can change the dynamic. That's the whole entire point. Don't tell me, oh, you know, I have solidarity with you, or I've also been impacted. Okay, you've been impacted, but you still get some privilege, right? And some of you may say, oh, I don't get privilege because I don't live good, things this are happening to me, or I've been impacted by other Black and brown people. That's interpersonal, yes. And we're not saying that it wasn't hard for you to be either bullied or taunted or harmed by those folks. But we're talking about in a larger context of systemic, right? You're still going to get the job. You're still going to get less jail time, even when doing worse. It's proven by statistics. It's proven by research. We're not saying that you don't experience harm or trauma, no. But it's like you have to have the ability to hold two opposing truths at the same time. Like, yes, I may have experienced poverty, and I'm white. I may have actually experienced having money, and I'm Black, right? That's a whole other story that I'm going to talk about. But there's ways in which I'm still impacted by this system of white supremacy. Even if you're a person of color and you got money, you're still going to be. It's like at the end of the day, it's that song, All Falls Down by Kanye West. He said at the end of the day, you're still a nigga in a coupe, even when you're driving a Benz. To them, yeah. So you still have to realize that too. right? And then at the end of the day, too, like white folks used to have to, acknowledge that this global system of white supremacy is going to benefit folks that look like you, even if you're ragtag, backwoods, whatever. You're still going to get more acknowledgement and play, and you'll still be chosen over even folks who may have degrees and well spoken and stuff like that. There's studies about this, whole research studies. So it's just like, we're not saying, oh, one person's a victimizer or one person's a victim. It's not, we're not trying to promote that duality. But what we are saying is there's a system of global white supremacy where other people are being hurt, harmed, destroyed. Then their practices used to create it and subjugate them. Then them being deliberately cut off from that practice to save themselves and any other type of way they can save themselves to continue this going on. But there's another group who was allowed mobility and freeness in it and the ability to express their full humanity. That's the thing that it is about. It's a restriction on our ability to express our full humanity. We just trying to heal. We just trying to function, but we can't. How are we going to try to heal and try to function? Well, slavery was so long ago. No, because then they got Jim Crow. Then we still got shit that we're going through. Remember, it's a systemic way that they trained us. Then we got our people killing our people. Like, I can't even heal from the trauma and the generational because it is still being created even in the now. Our people shooting each other, doing stuff to each other wrong, foul stuff. We can't get no money to heal or see the right people because they've bred the system to hide holistic health, hide our indigenous practice. Just go to God and Jesus. Go take medication. You see? It's a whole entire symphony of chaos and fuckery and karmics. So it's at this level. The way racism, white supremacy has to stop. It's a sickness on this planet. It's an entity on this planet, and we have to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it. So the way that you get rid of it is you have to unplug from it, right? Just like the same way that you get rid of an entity, you got to banish it. So when you're going into these, this different type of practices, and you're like, okay, well, I'm playing spiritual and I'm a light worker, but you have not addressed your racism and stuff like that, or you have not addressed your internalized racism or the way that you've been impacted by white supremacy and bred to think that you need to look like them and act like them and bleach your skin and do all these different things to be accepted. Then what are you doing, right? Both sides, we have to heal. I'm gonna do another video for Black people specifically on our healing. Both sides need to heal before you start playing and dabbling in spirituality. So that's the most succinct way that I can break it down. Other people are going to fill in the gaps. If I left some gaps here and there, I try to be as succinct and break it down as much as possible. But I just put 2,000 years and even more into just like 45 minutes. And then the next 2,000 years into that as well, if we don't get our shit together. Because you guys want to create new earth, but people don't want to heal from white supremacy or don't want to acknowledge that it exists. Yeah, we're all like one human galactic system. Actually, there's different root races too. There's root races, and some of us come from different root races. But the funny thing is, we all come from the same system. So it's not really different. None is different than the other. They all serve their type of purpose, but that's the problem. They're all trying to fight for a supremacy on Earth. So, no one's excluding anybody for their race or none of that. No, absolutely not. We're not saying that if you're white, then you're this. If you're Black, then you're that. If you're Latina, Latin, or Hispanic, or Southeast Asian, no. What we're saying is that you have to acknowledge that a global system of white supremacy exists. It exists, and it does impact people, and it has continued to impact people, and it's still continuing to impact us, and it's changing our DNA, and then it's changing the destiny of the human race, because that entity is pulling us all into a lower vibration. You see, it's turning the wheel, it's turning the spiral backwards. That's the secret of the swastika, because the swastika facing the different way, it's actually an ancient symbol from Egypt, Tibet, etc. It means to bring life. It's a very powerful symbol. Hitler turned it backwards to take life. And when they start playing with these different symbols up and down, just know that that's when the shit's going to hit the fan real quick. Because those symbols are consecrated to different entities, you see? That wants to eat, that wants to feed. So when we're talking about the Confederate flag, that's covered in the blood of Black folks, right? Or we're talking about these different statues and these different religious people. Hi, Sherry. When we're trying to take those artifacts down and talk about that, that's why we're talking about this. Because it's consecrated to death and pain and suffering that other entities on other star systems continue to feed off of till this day. You see, they're getting residual income, residual trauma, residual energy. They got the whole game set up. Multi-level marketing, y'all. That's what this shit is. It's a scam, though. I promise you it's a scam. So, it's pyramid scheme. Literally, the pyramid scheme. How can we have as many people on the bottom and as much people on top? We're going to turn that pyramid upside down. Because it's really an hourglass. So, you catch my drift? Oh, you had to catch that to catch that. Oh, you had to catch that to catch that. So, wow. We need to pray to God. It's not a male deity. Exactly. Because what is the uterus shaped like? A triangle. Upside down. God was like, actually, it would be better shaped the other way. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah. When you wake up to the matrix and you realize how much you're still sleeping. Hi, African Rose. So yeah, racism and spirituality. And some folks are, they want to play in different types of indigenous spirituality and things like that, but they don't want to address the racism. They're like, well, I'm spiritual. That should matter enough. No, there's a certain acknowledgement and right to passage, that you have to give homage to. And you may think, oh, I'm Native or I'm Black, so I can jump on anyone. Give homage to the ancestors first. Take my little dollars now. Erica, you're so funny. Ooh, a lot of people sleep. Yeah, it's 5D knowledge. We have to keep going. Some people are from different, some of us are like hybrids. We have alien DNA too. Like, our ancestors come from other star systems to planet Earth because we heard it was a party down here. Like, oh shit, once you come, you can't leave? Damn, Gina. Once you eat from this world, you can't leave? Persephone. Once you eat from this world, you can't leave? No. Stay here. Lilith. So that's Lilith in I'm not talking about the Lilith. I'm talking about the Octavia Butler wrote a book about Lilith's brood. And this lady, some of us too, like our ancestors come from different like star systems. We're in specific bodysuits though. And our DNA and our lineage are consecrated to like the different like type of like races and stuff like that, But the thing here is like we shouldn't be warring with each other because now there's an entity that's trying to take us all out. So it's gonna be those of us who are in different camps and like minds that come together to be able to like really transcend this shit once and for all. Because if you think that you're gonna take this to New Earth, you're sorely mistaken. It's going to be ripped out of your DNA. That's why a lot of us are sleeping and getting tired because certain entities, deep generational ones, are being ripped up out of us at lightning speed. And those who are still playing with karmic energies and think that they can do both, and you're going to be sorely mistaken because the door has actually been closed on many people, right? The door has actually been closed, shut, bolted on many people. Some of us were just about to enter the door. It's still buffering? Oh, I'm sorry. Damn. I may have to listen to this over again and transcribe it so that I can do it again. Yeah. Soul having a human experience, a real Twilight Zone. So, you know, that's one of the things that, like, you know, we have to think about it in that context. Like, when I think about like racism, stuff like that, it's like a mental illness. It's like you have an entity in you, and I can't even engage with you at this point, like right now, because that entity is just too much for me. So you have to get rid of that shit. That's the whole thing that it is. Like white supremacists, like them rednecks and stuff like that. That's the look. That's how you see the entity working in its full light. So if you want to really see how entities work, look at those type of people who are in that energy, so polarized. The Republicans, look into their eyes. They are reptilians. The reptile has taken over. They're in the body. Why do you think they're doing all this crazy shit with these? I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyhow, what's gonna happen next? Fuck a twin flame. I'm starting over, right? By clearing my damn DNA now. They both in jail from last night. Manifest that shit, Erica. Shit, I'm next. Anyhow, but let's keep going. There's gonna be a change coming in terms of even the race conversation of race, because too many people are focused on the political, the social, economic aspect, and not the spiritual aspect of it, and that they're getting lost in the sauce. I was like, okay, this has happened to our DNA. It's been a trauma on our DNA. Okay, so we need to move into the next level of this. It's reintroducing the holistic spiritual practice, but then our people are so embedded in the church and shit like that, they're rejecting it. You see the problem here that we're having here? You see the battle? You see? It's like, shit is hella crazy. Like, no, that is not the move. So, people of color too, you're going to have to get out them religions. You're going to have to get out that slave mentality. You're going to have to stop that colonized shit too, because we be doing it too, and the shit's disgusting. It really is. It's mind, right? It's your psychology. It's the sociology, right? This is spiritual sociology right here. Then we got let me write that down and mark that. So, ooh, my stomach. Ooh, these entities said no. You're not gonna be exposing us tonight. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, ISIS papers. Whoosh. No, I haven't. Does quote music, turn demonic. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, Loosh is human energy that the parasites archons feed off of. Damn. So, so let's do this. I left my person months ago. She looked not human. Dodge that tower. Hell yeah. Why do you sleep for a day? Yeah, because you're channeling energies. It can be a lot. And then there's a lot going on right now with the planets. Like, a lot of us are getting like attuned. Whew, we're doing good, y'all. We're doing good. So, let me see. My ancestors been on my ass, man. Who you telling? They ain't playing with me, but I'm happy that they love me that much to be on me. Yes, I do. Ooh, slept 15 hours a day for a month. It's brutal. That shit is crazy. You could be having spells done on you too. But yeah, this is the racism and spirituality that we got to talk about, and then how spirituality, like spell work, like these massive spells that they run on us, is being used to perpetuate that shit too. So it's like if y'all really talking about you light workers and you warriors, you got to be on your shit. You got to be on your shit. Like it's not just bubbles and rainbows. Like you gonna need an M16, bruh. You may need a bazooka. You may need a 9mm. Like for real, for real. Whoo! People be running and running right into the tower. I'm about to do that video tomorrow. Because I know that there be karmics on my live trying to throw spells and shit like that. That's crazy to me. Anyhow. Bella, I sent you my email. Some people are really about to get left in old earth and they really don't even know it. They really think like, oh, there's time, or you don't know what you're talking about, or oh, I've helped enough people, or I've done enough this. I'll be okay. 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 It was a binding spell on my stomach. Mike, I just felt that. I just felt that. That's why I was like talking about my stomach. Oh shit. Okay, I was channeling you. That's hella crazy. Yes, many of the self-proclaimed light workers from the dominant society are just stealing indigenous spiritual concepts and then whitewashing them, especially those who do those oracle and tarot decks. Yes. And then a lot of these readers who be playing on astrology and things like that, a lot of that came from like indigenous people, black, brown, indigenous people, right? They don't have any respect or pay any homage and none of that. Symbols too. That's another thing that needs to be talked about. If you're coming to temperance spirituality, you want to play with the Orishas, talk about Oshun and all these different things. You need to pay homage and be respectful, especially if your ancestors were a part of the subjugation of this stuff. Like, come on now, you should be the first one on the front lines. Someone said my Cash App. Here. Right. Everyone wants to be a light worker, spiritual witch. Right. But I'm telling you, few are called, but few are chosen. That's another thing too. I'll be telling y'all to keep y'all eyes open with this shit that goes on, because a lot of them are really, really confused. Really, in terms of what's what. Like they really are hella confused. But shit, that tower gonna help. Now, Jezebels, I'm telling you, they want attention and shit like that, but don't even be knowing what they're talking about or be going and taking their content from other places. I saw one flip out cursing the universe, and I knew right then, exactly, it's over. Many exposing themselves right now, though, I'm telling you. I've been feeling like I don't want anybody around me. Your aura is changing. You're sensitive right now. You need to be in cocoon. You want to strengthen. You will strengthen. Do the focus your mind. Do the mudras for concentration. Hand mudras. On another one, this is the first one we're talking about breaking down racism and spirituality. I'm gonna do another one about racism and narcissism, because that's a whole other fucking channeling. Right. Be careful with these melanated witches who are always putting spells on melanated people. They are agents. They are agents. They are the ones who sold our ancestors out and down the river, who helped enslave other Africans and sell other Africans and peoples of color. Yes. Those are who their ancestors were. Be careful with them. They run around and they're popular because they are assimilated. They don't know what they're talking about, who they are. They are descendants of wicked witches. I don't even know about y'all, but I can read faces like crazy. And oh my God, I want you to look up this lady. She's a Nigerian actress, and her name is Eukaria Aminobi. If you look at this lady's face, you will know that witches can go by blood, that have lineages of witches. Wow, and that's so funny because as I was looking her up, it says exposed, the dual personality of former actress. Okay, I'm gonna put her name in the comments. Go look at her face and tell me that lady doesn't look like she doesn't look like a whole entity. People don't know how to read faces. You gotta attune your eye. Yes, you got to train your eye. Someone is here that isn't supposed to be here. I know exactly who they are, and they don't even know that that tower is coming. Child, it's gonna be some shit you never experienced. Pauline's grandchild, are you going to sleep? Oh, Mike, I'm so happy for your mom. I'm so happy for your mom. Ooh. All the witches claim to be divine. Yeah. Playing with spirituality, shit like that. That's what they don't really understand. Because remember, I talked about this. They don't have I posted a really good channeling where I posted some deeper information and knowledge about this on my Patreon. So you could go there and like listen to some of the background information behind that. But just know that the shit that they're tapping into, they don't understand the magnitude of it. That's the problem. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing it. Hence the Book of Thoth. We talked about Neferkapata. But they don't understand that. Your aura is changing, yeah? Yeah, she is kind of scary to look at. Exactly. Hi, Concrete Rose TV. My ancestors used me as bait always. Sobek. I had a very powerful shit. Maybe I should like pause this one so people can watch it in full, and then maybe I'll do another live talking about like Sobek and the channeling that I got. But I think I'm gonna do that one tomorrow because I real talk. Like I tell you, if you're a Libra, yeah, the lady name I put down, Eukaria Anunobi. If you look at her face, she looks like a witch. You could tell that she's evil. That some of these karmics, they don't even know that you can read their fucking face. She comes from a lineage of witches. In back home, in certain places, like women like her, automatically, like they already know that that's a witch. We already know who's the witch. Insectilian vibe. Ooh. Right. Hi, Noelle. Serpent vibe. Right. Because as there were good of us, there were also evil and wicked of us. That's why we even thought to even sell our people to them in the first place. So I was like, if you're a Libra, you know, Libras don't like drama. They don't like chaos. We don't. But some of the channels that I've been getting, people gotta be fucking on their toes right now, yo. They got to be on their toes right now. They have to. You have to be on your toes because we're under spiritual audit right now. Seriously. Yes. Right. Some of the worst type of witchcraft talking about they're this and they're that. Okay. Shape shifting in music videos. My swords are out. Kali is right here. Kali Ma is right here. And she said, yes, I'm going to make you a necklace too. She said she's going to make me a necklace too. Okay. Go, auntie, go, auntie, go. So, Siamese goddess. Oh no. Bella Luna. What I miss? Ooh, shit. Ooh, beehive. So, you know what? That gave me chills. That's so funny. Beyonce is taken over by insectoids, maybe nanobots. Staying out of nonsense. Right, me too. I'm just going to just keep separating my energy because when it comes, whew, damn, Gina. Did she give off a witch vibe? No, she just gives off like, I don't know what the fuck. Someone said that her grandmama is Madame Laveau. How can I contact you from reading my email? Or go to my website. You could book there. All my emails there too. Someone said Libra Sun, Venus, Mercury, Pluto. I'm a mess. Aw. You need to balance that Libra energy and learn how to adopt Aries traits too. She had to be put in place. Okay, about Beyonce being the true daughter of Oshun and all these other things, and she's Madame Laveau's granddaughter and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just like I don't temper in those systems. I don't know what they do. I can't really say, yo. I really can't. Beyonce and her man are agents, man. Because I do see who they associate with and where they run around. And we know most of those folks that tamper in those worlds, they're tied into something. So that's why I'm like, I can't really like say. Because I really don't give a fuck about these celebrities, y'all. Y'all have to understand me. They're like everyday people. I'm sorry. That's why when I see these karmics chasing after fame, I'm like, what are you looking for? Y'all are hella messy. Matter of fact, I have a speaking. I'm gonna be doing a public speaking gig coming up, and you're gonna see the company is for. And you're gonna be like, really? And I'm like, I do this all the time. Like, I'm not. My head is not big about it because I go there and I talk just like this. Like, we shut shit down. That's the whole point. Give me the mic so I can shut shit down. Not so I can look cute and say things that people want me to say, and everyone loves me. No, like let's break down the matrix. Let's talk about some real shit and move to the next level. Like, come on, that's why I'm here. I look good, so you can just look at me, but listen to what I'm saying coming out of my mouth. Like, come, let's come on. If you're gonna look good, because people give me attention because I look good, okay. If you're gonna be looking at me, then I'm gonna be saying some shit that you may not like, but the appearance will soften the blow. Talking about Orisha's out loud. I can tell you, know her entity caught on to us talking about Orisha's. Wow. A literal idol worshiping. I acknowledge the talent. That's it. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I can't say too much about that because like, it's just a lot going on all at once. It's like, I tell you, my philosophy, like, I don't talk about people that I just cannot, like, I respect her as a businesswoman. She hustles. As a spiritualist, I don't know what's going on, sis. And then her man and all that shit that they got going on. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Luciferianism or Kabbalah. Yeah, they do. They sure do. But I don't put any negative energy towards her. That's the thing. Like, I'm like, I don't agree with her trying to lead spiritual movements, but all that other stuff, I can't. I don't respect her as a businesswoman. That's so funny. Because I know what it's like to be in a certain position and stuff like that, and people just want to come for you, you know? Yeah. It's like when you are in that position, then you understand. That's why I'm like, I can't really say too much, but the spiritual part is like, I'm gonna say a little bit about that because that's what I do know about, and that is can cause some danger. So, as someone who's also working in the space to prevent some of that, I'm gonna say something about like maybe we shouldn't do that, that type of thing. But other than that, well, a lot of these celebrities, they got their own problems, they got their own life. And it's like again, it's like, do you want to be a part of the collective move to like put negative energy towards them? I don't engage and I just don't patronize. I don't watch. I don't do any of it. I never understood it, yo. When people were going crazy for Chris Brown and shit like that, I never understood it. I really didn't. When we were younger, like all these different males, I love Drake as like a singer and stuff like that. But like how some people be going crazy, I'm like, I'm not. I don't know. It's like people that it's like the concept I'm trying to use is like a lot of people who are still in the matrix. To me, it doesn't make any sense, and I've always just kind of been like that as a kid. It's their people too. Yeah, they use black energy. Yeah, a lot of them do to feed their career. Yeah, and it's really popular in Nigeria right now amongst all those guys coming out. If you look up their fucking record label, they show you 1212. There you go. Energetic exchanges. Yeah, that's why you also got to be careful who you listen to as well. Someone coming to me for a spellbreaker session. Come to find out, she picked up an entity from one of these vampiric celebrities. He's a K-pop star. She different though. And the minute she said it, I was like BTS, and she was like, "How did you know?" I was like, I knew that there was something up with those boys. I knew there was something up with that. But that took me on a whole journey and exploration and studying spell work from Japan and Korea. So it's like I needed to up my game because they really using like real fucking witchcraft, yo, like some real shit. Like it's really kind of crazy. That adrenochrome fuckery that they got going on. Be careful of tapping into that. Because that's a lot of the shit that they be tying into to get all these people to get their attention. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, the Haitians use voodoo to scare off oppressors from mutilating them. Maybe some of these celebs do the same to intimidate folks that do spell work. I know a lot of celebrities that have had spell work done on them. Jaheim has spell work done on him. Who else has spells done? I believe Azalea Banks had spell works done on her, but she was kind of causing her own problems too. And then I believe that August Alsina is using why are they marketing Orisha energies exactly when there's dozens of different systems? What is in that? They need to stop playing with that stuff too and be careful. Because a lot of them are not even initiated by blood or any of that to be even a part of that. They need to be careful with the shit that they're going to be opening up. So that's yeah. I truly believe that they used spell work on August Alsina. He talking about he has liver disease because they were jealous of his career. Yeah, and I've been know they try to get Cardi, but I feel like her granny and all them in Dominican Republic, they've been like going that hard on bitches. And he from New Orleans too. Exactly. Virginia, you were a Jaheim background dancer. That is so funny. Ooh, Kendrick Lamar. Yep, they didn't spell word. Now that I know how this should be working and how they doing, I'm like, I see exactly what y'all did here. That is so fucked up that they did that to that boy. They try to take that. Isn't that the same rituals that I've been telling y'all about? Them liver rituals that they be doing, trying to take your solar power, which is that fame, that natural. Because he had natural light, you know, like J Cole got natural light. Some of these rappers that you be seeing, they lay low. They had natural light, and then they start tying into people to because they believe, oh shit, if I don't do this, then I'm gonna fall off and stuff like that. Kanye West. Virgo men are always getting abused. Poor babies. Don't mess with that Louisiana magic. They play too much. It's just like normal everyday. Oh, she put roots on me, bitch. What? Do people know? And I'm wondering when people do that stuff, especially when they don't know who other people's ancestors is, and they're just like creating warfare out of stupidity. I really be wondering, do you know what's about to happen to you? Like, do you realize the magnitude of what you did here? Like, do you think that this is a game? Like, oh, I just pulled somebody's hair, bitch. You tampered in the spiritual realm with someone else's destiny. You try to alter the Akashic records that can only be altered by that individual in question and Anubis and Ma'at and other guardians. Who do you think you are again? Yes, he does give me divine masculine energy, and him and that Jada fuckery, the Smiths about to get exposed because you know that they be a part of some shit. Their energy, the way that they look, it's like they have hella like they are together, karmics, I believe, together, but like they have other people that they go sleep with and eat off of and to keep their energy going. Oh no, Mike, that's crazy. Extreme fuckery, no. Ooh, they not gonna be ready when I start my shit. No. That's not funny when people are with the shit. They're manifesting off of Beyonce. She's a medium. Ooh. He just make it sound cool. Oh no. Just talking negative of someone is witchcraft. Exactly. Tom Cruise, who knows what's going on with him? I look like Tom Cruise on Vanilla Sky. It was televised humiliation rituals. I'm telling you. I think Ariana Grande got some crazy shit. I'm telling you, these people are so jealous of their their other people's careers and shit like that. Because now that I've gone through it, I'm like, I can only imagine what these celebrities go through, and they don't even talk about it. And they don't even talk about the shit. I can only imagine, man. But Beyonce too, she got tied into some shit, following her nigga, excuse my language, and then she's talking about, oh, I got an entity in me, Sasha Fierce. She got to be careful, man. That's why I say I can't say anything bad about her because now that I know what it's like, and she's just another person and stuff like that, and what they get involved in, I'm just like, okay. Will is a toxic one. I can't with them. Did you guys mention Naya Rivera? No, but that shit is hella crazy. I live in Hollywood. I've been hearing about Will and Jada for years. Wonder if Jada is a succubus. Oop, oop, oop. Justin Bieber as well. He has a whole. Yeah, Normani. Yep, yep, yep. They. It's so crazy to me now. Beyonce a medium through Michael Jackson. I know Michael Jackson's feminine. Britney though, yeah. I swear they put spells. I'm telling you, a lot of people they didn't have spells put on them. I'm telling you, fucking up their career. Because now that shit happened to me and I caught that shit, I'm like, wow. So imagine like real people are really in their grave because of some jealous fuckery with spell work, yo. That shit kills me, man. That's why I be going so hard with this stuff. Like I feel like this is like my niche though. Some people don't get it. Like spiritual warfare is my niche. Spell work is my niche. Talking about like the spiritual aspect, the spiritual warfare aspects of twins, that's my niche. So I don't know, man. After they parted ways, he got sick. Who knows what they tried to do, some type of energy harvesting sex ritual on him because he's young. I seen August Alsina in person. He's so handsome. We was in St. Kitts. She knew what she was doing. Damn. Beyonce got sold by her dad. Her mom's hella weird. I mean, like, come on now. You could just look and see what's going on in that situation, too. Solange is, like, very grounded. You transmute. Insectilians, right. They're insectilians or humanoids. In hell, all that dancing they did on Earth, they'll be doing in hell on repeat. Twerking. Yep. That shit is not a joke. Be careful who you have sex with. Please. Please. Oh. These sex work are also fucked. I'm telling you, man. I know it's a way for them to make money and stuff like that, and shit is hard, but that's a really karmic job. That is a very karmic job. Like being a cop or being a judge or being a lawyer, politician, it's a karmic job. It's a job, go ahead, then it's a karmic job. No. Hell nah. Because I messed with someone like 7 years ago, and that energy, I was like, is that why that's been happening to me? What the heck? With all the clearing and healing that I've been doing? Hell nah. It's a mess. No, Mike. You got me with the graveyard there under the trailer. No. You must feel some type of way. Oh, August. Poor baby. They done got him wrapped up in some shit. These karmics really be on some other shit, bro. Yeah, but we gonna go to the next level with the spiritual warfare. What do you think about spiritualists who are sex workers? How is that in the same equation? Who they're doing like tantra? Oh, I'm just having sex, but I'm just doing Reiki at the same time. You just gotta be careful with that shit. You just gotta be very careful where you put your pussy and who you tie yourself to sexually. I'm sorry, I'm a Virgo, so I just keep it super real. I just realized what I said, how I said it. How I said it may have sound fucked up. I apologize, but that's a no-no. We have to do a whole. Oh my god, my Patreon. Y'all killing me because I know that this information needs to be out there, but certain people do not need to get this information. I'm a sex worker, been celibate for years. Damn. I learned that the hard way. Oh, no. Mike, you were out of pocket. Ooh. Whew. Yeah, about the sexual energy, you got to be careful. But the sexual racism, you got to talk about that too. That's the whole episode. Jesus. That should be so crazy. You got to be careful because it be all types of entities attaching and moving themselves all around. The conversation lit. Ooh. I don't agree with sex working when you're a spiritualist. No, you cannot. Ooh, my life has been a movie. One of those good hood ones you watch on DVD and watch every now and then to get inspired. That's gonna be our story. They are not ready for us, yo. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Ooh, if y'all knew what was coming, ooh, they are not fucking ready for us. It always goes somewhere. Oop. People really getting taste. Oh, thank you. What, Erica? You don't have to do that, please. I so appreciate it. Um. Ooh, what is that? Team Sullivan. Yep. Mm-mm, that's crazy. But I'm craving steak. Please, just stay away from it. Eat chicken or something like that. It's too heavy right now. Meat is too heavy. If you're still eating meat right now, it's gonna be a problem for you. Like, don't be eating too much of it, like chicken, salmon, fish, stuff like that. I don't even put that stuff on my altar. I have intel about what they're planning to do to America. Tell us. Give us some tea, sis. All the things that we love. Too much sex, drinking, smoking weed and cigarettes as well. Um, meat, they got to be limited because those have the fastest spiritual impacts. I know, right? Those karmics are getting it all the way in, yep, and getting entities and draining their energy and getting karma and karmic children. They're getting it in all right. And then we get to find our one. And the sex is like the first time. You know how Sade, she says, never as good as the first time. Well, okay, we need another karaoke night. But but yeah, that's what we get when we forego it for a little bit. No, no, not the smokes. I know. I stopped smoking weed. Child, that shit was crazy. I never thought I could do it. It was a mess, but I realized it was a spell. Because I was never a pothead like that. I'm like, oh, this shit is a spell. This year or this decade, right? I know. I want to know what is coming, what you know, right? Something's coming, yo. Lower vibrations being like, no, I know. No more fuckery to exist. Like, please. They've been wide open with approaching me. I wonder what they want. People are fucking sick with it, bruh. Oh, Miss Bella left the chat. Right, the trumpets were heard a few days ago. I'm telling you, something's about to pop the fuck off. Oop. And I ain't fit to be involved. It's like that picture, you know that meme where the people are hella fighting in the crowd, and there's this dude just sitting off to the side, like smirking. That's gonna be everybody there, and we're gonna be the ones sitting to the side with the popcorn and tea, with the Kermit look on our face. I feel it coming. Saturn. Oh shit! If y'all knew what I knew, you'd be laughing like me too. But don't worry, you don't know in a minute. I got a surprise for you. Right. My spiritual guides are working overtime to give me protection and seal me off. For real. Feed your ancestors a lot right now too, because they're doing heavy work in the realms. When I say my ancestors been eating hella good, organic chicken, salmon, grapes, persimmons, wine, Hennessy, brandy. They're getting what they want. Let the games begin. I'm telling you, you Scorpio. No, I just seen something happen. I just had a vision of you, like right, just jumping, diving right in. I got chills. They must be eating good, right? That's my energy so high. Yep, 60% of jobs will no longer be available in a decade. They're gonna push a whole bunch of people into poverty. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, Cosmic Prophet. Sending you love. Sending you love. Oof. Should I put a blunt on my altar? No. Take the weed out. I don't know if the ancestors, I don't know. I thought about the other day. I'm like, do y'all want some weed? They're like, no, do you want some weed? Then after we told you to stop? Right. Right. Now we gotta block the tricks from the twin flame. That's gonna be your ultimate test. I'm gonna tell you right now, no dick is gonna get me off my game. Please. Are you serious? People really not serious, yo. I'm telling you, like in life, people really not serious. Most of us in the chat super hot. I'm telling you, people putting too many chemicals in it. I'm telling you, make an altar in the 5D. That's beautiful. Oh, I changed and gave me something. These are not apparitions. Cup of wine, good. I like that. Oh my god. Woo! Oh, Nadine, I don't know, man. Yeah, in the cloud, the quantum computer. It's like that show, Carbon, Altered Carbon. Yeah, where like they got people's whole consciousness and memories and whole entire bloodlines on USBs, and they just like put the memory cards in different bodies. That shit is crazy. What you found, Mike? Hi, Faith. I'm happy you're here. I cannot sleep. Hi, watching Tisha. They want to escape karma. It's not gonna happen. That's what I'm talking about. When we're talking about these karmics getting their karma, I'm talking about them ones too. We're talking about we're going to Mars and shit like that. You ain't going no place. Sit your ass down and get this karma. They're gonna die along with the idea. In the sky. Ooh. The final trumpet. Wow. Why do you have me on this fucking planet at this time, man? Sometimes I just laugh to keep from crying because it should be so ridiculous. Excuse my language. It's just too much going on sometimes. Damn. But it's okay because we gonna thug it out. We're like workers. We can handle it. The whole point is to win the war before the war actually starts. Karmics, they go ahead into the war and then they think about how to win. Divine ones already know that the war has been won, right? Because we already been got the codes and the instructions. Then we go in knowing that we can't lose. Yeah, because we already won. There we go. Yeah, Donald Trump might be the last president, yo. 4 and 6 is 10. So bitch, you ain't going nowhere, right? Because sit your ass down. Ugh. I came to Earth at a ghetto time, really hella ghetto. Like y'all really just on some other shit. No home training. Euro, Amero, British pound, crypto, and gold. Yep. Hey, I'm gonna keep it hella real. Yeah, you know what? I just need to start. I just need to do this. I'm about to do this. I'm gonna do it tomorrow with channeling because my dreams be so on point. I be thinking to the ancestors like, thank you for that. That was a hella dope insight. Like they really fuck with me the long way. I'm like, thank you. They be giving me stock investment tips now. I'm like, oh shit, the whole game done flipped inside out now. Woo! No home training, period. Hell's where they're going. They really don't know. The portal gonna open. They all gonna be in line. Walk. Like I said, you guys who ever seen Esclava Blanca, that show, Don Nicolas at the end, that shit had me dying. And they started whipping him. Ooh. The attunements are coming. Purple Intuitive. We are the cleanup crew. I know we got to clean up the mess. It's like Ghostbusters. The stock market is going to crash major. Just wait for it. We got about 10 more years before the shit's totally done. Until it's like totally like Gilead from Handmaid's Tale. Because I'm sure they already got some of those places on in America. It ain't too far off. Right. Her predictions are truly happening. Whose prediction? Gotcha, Ola. 10? I'm telling you. Because they gonna really ride, they gonna shut down the whole United States. People really think this shit is a game. But we must say no to drugs, toxic twin flames. I'm telling you, your twin, y'all still playing with them karmic, them twins. I want to stay in old Earth. You will be getting karma. Yeah, but this is the thing though. That in that channeling that I did about the coronavirus, I said that's where they're moving this towards mass removal of jobs. They can't even please, right? They can't even handle the demons that they call. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Now they're claiming kids are getting sick from COVID. Okay. We're doing a lot of karmic clearing. Yeah, I'm telling you. These DNA activations have been really crazy. People don't think, they think like, oh, you do a DNA activation and you start shooting purple light out of your eyes. No, you do a DNA activation and then you learn some shit about your family that hella helps you to complete like an understanding on a deep level of yourself. And that's the transformation. Exactly. That fucking vaccine is gonna be a hot ass mess. Shit, I'm gonna pay to say that I got it and I'm not about to get it. Mm-mm. Don't put that shit in me. They even took away the law saying that you can lose your religious right, like you can't use your religious rights to say no to vaccines or different things like that. America will lose 60% of its jobs. I'm telling you right now, and all these people doing that protesting, and yes, that matters and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, like, police what? When 60% of people are not working and hella people are homeless. That vaccine is the mark of the beast. I'm telling you, man. You know, I'm still watching that. It's long. I know. I was so addicted to it. 65 episodes. The Enchantress. A lot of people already lost their jobs. Yep. Did you hear about King John 111? The UK has a new King John. David Icke been talked about these people being reptilians though, so they just morphed in front of your face. There you go. They want to give it to black folks first. That's why I was like, fuck out of here with that. Test results said that was a lie. Bill Gates. Mm-mm. Have you added up Corona? It adds up to 666. That's so crazy. I got Capricorn in my seventh house, mind you. And Saturn's there too. And then I got my South Node and my first house in Cancer. Can you imagine? You know, Capricorn and Cancer is the axis of ancestors. That's my rising sign, but then Capricorn is my North Node. It's too much. That's when we talk about this karmic cleansing and when we take things, Pauline, when we take stuff to the next level, like, and really talk to people about what's going on, they can't handle it. Because we're talking from a place of like genetic, like the transformation of like our DNA in order to be in alignment with the earth so that we don't fall when certain aspects of it fall away. People are not ready. Plandemic, I'm telling you. Plandemic. Oh, I'm gonna start saying that. Plandemic. That's so funny. Come on, it tastes like chicken. The virus, I mean the vaccine. Stop. They want to make people infertile along with other foliar. Oh my God. Get me out of this fucking country. Jesus. Oh my God. I'm finding out so much stuff all at once. Child. It is what it is, Daisy. Keep it real. Yep. That's what we're going to do. On this episode, when keeping it real goes wrong, though, I've learned that the hard way. So I just like, okay, well, let me not turn down that road. Right? They don't believe our ancestors communicating with us. People really don't understand. That shit is very powerful. Very powerful. If the vaccine is forced on humanity, I'm jumping in a large body of water and going bye-bye. Is that suicide? Shit, that's do or die. Mhm. It's gonna be some shit that goes down. Turn your ass into a 5G tower. And they got an iPhone 11, iPhone 12, iPhone 13, and y'all just keep on going. Unemployed. Okay, so if they start a universal income, they better have a universal rent. Mhm. I'm still crying over your reading. Oh, Erica. I know. They're trying to take out the light work for children, man. Bye, African Rose. All right, y'all. Ooh, that was another good session that we did tonight. We went far. Okay. Yep, we gonna get into this shit. Something's about to something's you gonna see something. Watch the commercial jingle for the vaccine. Hmm. Divine Masculines is losing like fuck. Woo! Cosmic profit. That's an understatement. Yeah, move to where you need to go ASAP. Exactly. Yep. I keep a Tektite in my bun. That's one of the reasons I took my little my extensions down because I was like, I need to my crystal. It's like I can't do it with this hairstyle. Yes. Exactly. The chip is slavery. Exactly. To slave my soul, I will drown. Yeah. It's not happening to me. It's like that one episode of American Gods with the Nanzi, the spider, and he was telling them what they were going to be encountering when they go to America and they jumped from the boat. July Pisces reading was really off the hook. I was like, what is going on? Sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to make the, okay, should I make the reading longer? But it just be so cut and dry that I'm just like, oh. Ooh, what about the babies coming during this chaos? I'm just gonna say with this North Node and Gemini is gonna be interesting. Interesting. Astronaut, that's so funny. I'm about to go watch. I always watch my readings after I do them. Anyways, you all, please go get some sleep. Right, the walls not being built to keep people out, to keep people in. Okay, so there's that. Oh, I cannot with these people, man. Should be off the hook. All right. Anyways, y'all, you guys have a good night. Okay, bye.